What's the backstory with Carlos Hardy? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hello, thank you so much for clicking that link and choosing us and watching this video. We truly appreciate it. Make sure you should subscribe or like or comment on the video. We got some good stuff today for you. Okay, so as you know, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett are in this triangle with August Alsina. What it is, I don't know. I'm just reading the reports just like you are, and I want to talk about it just a little bit, and then we're going to go into the writer's room where I wrote something specifically on how it all started. That will be the backstory in the writer's room. But let's talk about what's happening. First off, anybody that has not been living under a rock knows that there was this underlining talk, a conversation going on about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett and their relationship dynamics. And for a lot of us, it could be something where some said it was an open relationship and others said it was, they had options that they both get to choose a specific person to be with for, like a day or a month or a session or whatever you want to call it. So that has been going on for a long time, and it has been in the Hollywood ethers for a while now. So it's finally coming to fruition that there was something that was rocking their relationship. So August Alsina, who is this R&B singer, has come forth and said he was in this entanglement, or I would say this relationship with Jada Pinkett-Smith. Okay, so he has an album coming out. So you can, some of you will probably say he's what we call clout chasing, or he could be a person that really want to promote his album. And this could be the nucleus for supporting his album or promoting his album. I think it's perfect timing in his view, but for the Smith household, it isn't so perfect because these rumors have plagued the media for a long time, and now they've finally come to fruition, and now they're trying to figure out how to extinguish this excruciating fire. So Jada Pinkett went on Red Table Talk, and she called it an entanglement, and it's where she was fused in this situation with August and Will Smith when she was on break. I don't know if they were on break. That's not my concern. It's not none of my business, but all I can do is kind of report on what she had said, and she said that they were on a break. So I tend to believe Jada Pinkett because she's always been upfront and always been a person that I think has been truthful. So I think they were on a break. For a lot of you, you're probably thinking they were on a break and this happened. But I really want you guys to think deeply about this, okay? So there's all types of relationships in the world, and we all have our own rules and regulations as we tend to navigate that relationship. Some of us like to invite people into the relationship. Some of us like to have open relationships. Some of us like to be bisexual in the relationship, or have our spouse be that way. It doesn't matter, but whatever they had going on, to me, was their business. And I'm really not a person of judgment in what they chose to do in their relationship, but I do believe going into a relationship with some type of verbal contract that states the do's and don'ts of the relationship, to me, is really important. And I think that's where things fall apart, and that's in most relationships, whether it's friendships, your coworkers, friendships, and things like that. It's because when you don't have this underlying contract stating what you would do and what you won't do in that situation, it kind of makes for an overall bad situation. And then feelings get hurt, and then emotions get crushed, and you're back at square one. So I think if you're deciding to have this specialized relationship that's non-traditional, with two people, you may bring a third person in, or fourth people, you may just want to watch people do things, some people are freaky like that. That's okay, but you have to have some type of underlining contract or verbal agreement that says this is what we're going to do and this is the limits of that. And anytime you infuse other people in your relationships, just know you're going to have some problems. You're going to have issues, because now there's not only 2 people in the relationship, there are 3 or 4 people that it's going in and out or threading in and out of that relationship, which makes for a bad situation. Period. There's no way to get around that. So Jada Pinkett says that her and Will were on a break. Now, I believe her that they were on a break, but when you're on a break, if you're in a marriage or in a relationship, does that consummate for you to go off and be with someone else, in an intimate way? If it is, I want to hear from you. Is that important to you? I think if I want to break in a relationship, there's no way I'm cheating. There's no way I'm getting entangled and infused in some other situation while I'm on a break with the person I'm with. I think it's very, very important that that's said, because if you don't have this agreement while you're about to take a break or as you take a break or split up, then I think either party can do whatever they want to do. But you have to have this agreement. And I think that's where a lot of couples fail, is that they don't communicate well enough to explain to their significant other or spouse that, okay, we're on a break, and while we're on a break, these are the rules. This is what we're going to do, as opposed to just splitting up and just going your separate ways. Because eventually, some kind of way, most people find their way back to the center of that relationship. Now, my only question was this: did that relationship happen with August Alsina during the break? That's my only question. I'm not sure if they were literally on a break, or was he invited in while they was not on a break, and it became more, really more emotional and more infused in both of their emotions, that they couldn't turn back. That's a possibility. A lot of people online are saying that. I'm not sure. I just think anytime you invite someone into your situation, that's 1 and 2 here, and you invite a third person in, regardless if you're on a break, regardless if you're in an open relationship, regardless if you're just having fun with another person, you have to understand that the emotions, the body, the spirit is going to inject itself in that relationship. There's no way around it. So I think they're suffering the aftermath of that. I think Jada is doing a great job of talking about it and putting herself or holding herself responsible and holding herself accountable for the actions that she has caused. But I think August Alsina is benefiting. I think he's the only one that's benefiting from this, because remember, he's not in the marriage, so he can just leave and he can just say whatever he wants to say. So, and it does not matter. I just think that him coming out and verbally stating that put him in a precarious situation. The couple, the Smiths, in a precarious situation. But it also it's going to cause his fans and people to paint him in a light that is not so great as well, because something like that you hold on to, you take to the grave, because you guys have this union, you guys have this friendship, and he was friends with Will. So that's why I did not understand why he would even verbally express how he felt about Jada, and now he has a song out, and it's becoming a circus, when he could have respectfully, if he loved her, because he said he loved her, if he really loved her, he could have really respected her and just kind of talked about it for a bit and then moved on. But he wrote a song about it, did press about it, and now it's everywhere, unfortunately. So that's my take. I hope they can mend their relationship. I hope they can kind of come together and kind of really focus on their relationship, because sometimes relationships, they grow old and weary, and sometimes you have to infuse things that are going to spice up that relationship. I don't mean another person, but it could be, you could be, dressing up as a certain person. You could bring some instruments into the bedroom. You can role play. There's a lots of different things you can do, as opposed to bringing a physical being into your relationship, because that changes the dynamics of the relationship. So anyway, I really hope that they have learned their lesson and learned from this. And it's all experiences are supposed to be something for you to learn from. And I'm sure, being the spiritual beings that they are, Will and Jada, that they're going to learn from it. So we're going to go into the writer's room. Now remember, this is what is the backstory. So of course I had to write something based on this story. When did this actually first happen, where they agreed on possibly having someone come into the relationship? We're going to go into the writer's room, and I've written something that I think will be interesting, fun, and remember, I'm just writing. It's supposed to be fun, so get over it. Here we go. Let's go into the writer's room. It's 2005 in Calabasas, California. A single red bulb faintly illuminates a bedroom sitting at the far end of a massive compound. The summer's night have morphed into a sleepless rendezvous for a romantic couple. Sounds of passion and lovemaking recoils from one part of the house to the other. A lustful tussle charged with an intense purpose that you'll only see in movies is fully explored under the red-tinted glare. The two bodies passionately wrestle madly in between the soaked satin sheets, fighting for position and dominance, neither party willing to let the other loose. Severe kissing played with hair pulling and caressing gives us an indication that this couple has grown quite fond with their sensual exchanges. Suddenly, the droning engine of a luxury vehicle in the distance rattles the man. His head pokes from under the silky sheets. It's acclaimed movie actor Will Smith. He listens intently for a split second before panic fuels his words. "It's Jada. Get up. What is she doing here?" He says, hopping from the bed. "Get the fuck up. She can't see you here." Will does his best to tidy the room, forcing a comforter back on the bed. Nabbing the empty alcohol bottle from the floor and tossing it into the trash, he scurries wildly. The flustered movie star grabs his satin sheet, draping it around his naked body. Tiptoeing to the door, he listens to Jada's approaching whisper. Willow? Jaden?" Feeling ignored, Jada yells even louder. "Will!" Will nervously stumbles from the bedroom with a single sheet wrapped around his lower body. His tone is shaky and unconvincing. Hey baby, what are you doing here?" She responds with a morsel of annoyance in her voice, but manages to keep her cool. "I live here." "Will, whose car is that outside?" Will positions his partially naked physique in front of the door. "Baby, you're not going to give me a hug?" He jokes, tripping over his words. Jada glances over the disheveled sheeting against her husband's body. Her arms fold defiantly against her chest. Again. "Whose car is that parked in my driveway, Will?" A friend," he replies, directing his eyes to the circle patterns on the carpet. Jada's eyes drift from left to right. She's searching for the right words, but they won't come. "Jada, be calm. Remember, we have an agreement." "I do, but the house is off limits, Will." "Are the kids here?" "No, your mother took them away for the weekend." Jada's hands slide from her chest to her hip. The more she stares at his ridiculous stance, the more angry she grows. "You broke the fucking contract." "Jada, I'm the one that said this thing was a bad idea." "Will, you wanted this, not me." "Well, I hope it was good." It ends here. Jada's phone rings, interrupting the standoff. She ignores the incessant 50 cents in the club ringtone. Will points to her phone. "Well, aren't you going to answer that?" Will demands. "No, this isn't what we do, Will." Will curiously snatches her phone from her hand. He answers. "Hello?" The phone quickly hangs up. His brow curls with intrigue. "Was that him?" "It doesn't matter, Will. You brought someone in our house. You broke the contract." "Who was on the phone, Jada?" he says obsessively, pressing her. "It's none of your business, Will. I held up my end of the deal, and you have some hood rat in my bed where we sleep?" Will pulls the sheets closer to his body. The bedroom door slowly creeps open. A disembodied voice sounds from the crack in the door. "Can I come out now?" Jada swings around, catching an eyeful of her husband's bedmate. "You got to be kidding me, Will." Yo, we are back from the writer's room. That was a small interpretation. I know. Remember, I'm a writer, so I'm gonna either embellish, I'm going to insinuate, I'm going to be ambiguous at times, but it's all about fun, and I hope you enjoyed that small sample of how I thought Will and Jada got to this place and got to this moment. And it's of course it's been allegedly that they brought someone into their union, and that's been going around for a long time. So that's here or there. But I just wanted to have some fun with the story. So that's why I write what I write. And also for you writers, remember, this is all about writing as well. For those of you who are writers who are writing music or scripts or books or whatever you're writing, poetry, whatever, remember the tip of the day is imagination. Use your imagination in all aspects of life, and you will begin to open up what I call the goodness of what God is he or she, whatever you want to call it, allows you to have this in-depth imagination inside of you. And it's up to you as a writer or as a person, a creator, to be able to pull from your imagination. Imagination create worlds. So please, please, please use your imagination freely. I thank you guys so much for being a part of my channel. Like I said, I'm solely a writer, and I love to put stuff together, and I'll be doing more stories and going off the deep end on most of the stories, but it's something that I like to do. It's fun, it's different. I mean, what do you want from me? So make sure you subscribe, please. I would appreciate that. Make sure you like or comment on the video, comment about my story, how I wrote Will and Jada and the beginning of this situation. I thank you guys so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. Let me know what other stories you want me to write about, because I sure will. Okay? Until next time, I'm Carlos Hardy, and this is What's the Backstory? Peace.
What's the backstory?